Recording.
All right, it's working. Super. We had some problems with Zoom here, guys, and maybe it's Erik. I don't know. We can't blame everything on the poor guy. So, hello, Erik. How are you? I love you.
He's laughing at you. He says, "Hi, Mom." He says,
Hi.
"You're right. You can't blame everything on me." He
That's
says,
true.
"But this time it really wasn't me."
Oh, okay. I kind of figured not. Raylene, I'm so happy to see you. We missed you so much. And now, like I said to you a little while ago, we're back in the saddle, and we're going to talk about what?
We are
Sensing.
going
Yeah,
to
I'll let you take
we're
it.
going to talk about sensing energy, feeling energy, and how to get yes and no questions with feeling the energy
Okay.
when it's in your energy field. Um, yeah, Erik is super excited to be here today, and I'm super excited to be back, everybody. I've had a long break, and I basically died and came back to life.
Mm. Wow. What,
I
did you have a
had,
near-death experience at all?
yeah, I did. I did. So my experience with being in the coma, so I was in a coma for 3 weeks, and I felt like it was a lucid state of dreaming where I was at. I had went on vacation to Indonesia, and I've never been to Indonesia. I've never like searched anything about it. I didn't have a hotel or anything nice like that that I was staying in. I was like basically lost on
Oh,
vacation on the streets in Indonesia. You know those people that stand on like their long straw stick things and they do tricks on them.
oh
So
no.
I was seeing these type of people glide back and forth on these long sticks. They were jumping around and almost entertaining me.
Hmm.
There was one specific being that I remember. He was very white, almost like albino. He had hair like Erik, but it was not Erik. And this is a person that stayed with me through this dream. So I went from this dream of being lost in Indonesia to almost being pulled back into another place. I went to my brother-in-law's old house and I was stuck. I didn't have my bottom half. My legs were gone. It was only my
Oh,
top part that was there.
yeah.
So in this dream, I was trying to find my bottom half. I was trying to find my bottom half, which
Wow.
I didn't understand why I couldn't walk, why I couldn't move. But I was lost in the stream of being at my brother-in-law's house with no legs. I stood there for what seemed like months. And then I was moved out of that and pulled back. I had like this jerking sensation of pulling back from that dream. And so when I pulled back that third time, that's when I had started waking up. They had pulled me out of the coma. And I heard this voice that it was a female voice. And the voice said, "It's time to go back." And I just had that knowing of that's source, that's God, that voice was God.
Wow.
It was female that told me this, but I just knew that is God.
Mm,
So here I am waking up and very, very distraught, very angry, very
mm.
afraid, not knowing of where I was at. Keep in mind, I had a trach in, so I couldn't talk.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and just trying to pull everything out of me was
Yeah.
very scary. But that voice that I heard that told me it's time to go back, I felt that presence there with me. I know it was source. I know it was God. I just had that knowing of
Yeah.
that's God, that's source. And so I had that comfort of that feeling being in the room with me and feeling okay. And not long after that, I seen my mom. My mom had came in, they had got her and told her that I
Mhm.
was awake. And so things had started to really fall back into place from that point. But the whole lucid state, while I was in the dream, the sound of like a hospital, the heart machine, the
Yeah.
beep, beep. I heard that the entire time I was in my dream, but I didn't
Oh,
know what I was
wow.
hearing.
Oh,
I do not recall like any conversations between my family members, even though they were there constantly and talking to me. I don't
yeah.
recall any of that, but I recall that beep, beep, beep from the heart machine going high, going low.
Mm.
Um, that was all there, but I was not aware that I was in a coma during my state of my lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
it wasn't until I woke up that I had learned of what had happened,
Yeah.
that I had gotten sick and I had aspiration pneumonia.
Mhm.
Um, I had several procedures done while I was there. They had to go in and scrape my lungs. I got my
Oh,
monthly scars from each side for my lungs and then
yeah.
the stake itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it was such an intense experience, Elisa.
Oh gosh.
Waking up gave me such gratitude for life,
Mm.
such gratitude for people. What I learned out of this experience is I have to do what makes me happy and I have to live life for myself. Because if I would have stayed in the same emotion and in the
Yeah.
same routine that I was in, I wouldn't have had change. And
Yeah.
what this change has brought is me wanting to teach people more about spirituality and just like a gratitude of life and
Yes.
appreciating life as we have it. And
Mm.
it sounds really weird, but I feel more connected to Earth, to Gaia, than I
Wow.
did than I've ever felt before. And just like I'm wanting to spread love to the earth and like help the earth in whatever way that we can.
Yeah.
But at this experience has provided like a new awakening for me and a new appreciation of life.
Wow. That is amazing. Now, who was the guy, and maybe you don't know, maybe Erik can answer this, that was almost albino with Eric's similar hair?
He's telling me that he was a spirit guide that was protecting me through, he said I was lost through
Yeah.
being lost.
Mm. Well, why didn't uh, he help her get found? I mean, what was the purpose of her continuing to feel lost?
She had to find herself. He says, I had to
Oh.
find myself. And in order to find myself, I had to do it by myself and not have somebody show me the way because I was
Oh.
looking to find something that I was missing. He's referring to in life, I was missing things in my physical life and I had to find myself.
Oh.
As I really learned how to group myself together, gather myself together, and find who I am, what I want to do, and how I want to do it. Sadly, it took that experience to get me where I am now, but it
Was that
worked.
was that in your contract to go through this?
He says yes. It
Ah.
was to put me back on path to where I needed to be. So he's explaining that I had started getting off of track
Mm.
and I wasn't doing what my mission was, what I wanted to do, what I truly came here for.
Yeah.
And so it was something that I had requested to have this event put in place as either an early exit point that
Uh-huh.
I did not choose to take, um,
Good.
or as something to put me back on path. I'm speaking of early exit points. So the doctors tried pulling me out of the coma one time before the original time. I
Uh-huh.
couldn't come out. I wasn't breathing on my own, and that's when they put the
Yeah.
trach in.
Oh.
Um, at that time, I believe I had not decided on do I want to stay or do I
Yeah.
want to go back.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't decided my decision yet to leave or stay.
That is what the some of the mediums said because we were all communicating about you and your condition, and they said she's wavering. She's like 50-50. Now she's 60-40. Now it was like it's like a bookie's table. She's 60-40 now. It's the odds are. So Erik, why did she have her bottom half missing? What was the point of that?
He said it was the metaphor because she was physically lost in this world, not knowing what to do or who she was in life. And part of her was not put together the way that she wanted to be or the way that she should have been.
Okay, so she needed to find her footing, so to speak, on her own,
He says,
metaphorically.
bingo, mom.
Oh, he likes to say that. All right, one more question before we go on to sensing energy. Wait, I got a hair on my tongue. Ah. Mm. I hope it's not dog hair. Anyway, do you feel like any of your gifts have changed, shifted at all?
Drastically. I feel way more connected than I did before. I feel like my intuition is more than intuition. I know it's really hard to understand that, but imagine my intuition as being like this low before, and now it's way up here.
Wow.
Messages are coming to me on like a regular basis about whether it's a family member,
Mm.
you know, telling them not to go to this place or
Oh
decisions.
yeah. Does your family know and respect that so they'll listen when you say, hey, don't drive to the stop and go today?
Now, yes. So a little bit of a background on my family. They're not everybody is open to my line of work.
Of course.
My mom thinks that it's disturbing the dead.
Yeah.
She's very Christian and she has that belief system. And so I've had to
Sure.
tell her, Mom, it's not me disturbing the dead. It's more like they disturb me. And so
Yeah.
she's got that understanding of it. But I was able to warn her about my sister. And my sister could have gone with her friends. Her friends were in an accident that night. My sister didn't go because I warned my mom. I told her I feel like something's going to happen.
Oh,
So she took
wow.
my sister home, who is 17 years old.
Mm.
They got in an accident that night. Nobody died or no serious injuries happened to anybody.
But it
But
could have to her. You never
it
know.
could have been, could have been, something that would have been life-threatening for her.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know, a long, long time ago, I had this, we were going to take this vacation to Cozumel, Mexico or something. And for some reason, I had this horrible sense of dread. I only had 2 kids. They were little. And I thought, oh my God, the plane's going to crash something. And so I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to cancel the plans. So I went up and down, Westheimer and found like a psychic reader or a palm reader or whatever. And she said, yeah, you can't go on that trip. You have to change it. So I said, okay, I'll change it. And we went to the Caymans instead. And during that, I was waiting with Christina and Michelle for Papa to come back in from a scuba diving trip. I was, of course, pregnant, so I couldn't scuba dive. I was always pregnant. Anyway, the kids were sitting on a picnic table back from me, and I saw a boat come in, so I went real quickly and said, is this, so-and-so's boat? And then I looked over, and Michelle, who was like 2 years old, ran like it must have been 300 yards all the way to the surf, and she was face down. And I flew my pregnant body, woo, and she had hit her
Mama
head, but
Easy.
maybe if it had been in the Cozumel, it would have been a death and not just that. And so anyway, we were waiting eventually to come back to Houston. And she went to everybody. First of all, she'd say, are you a stranger? Because I said, don't talk to strangers. Are you a stranger? No. Oh, I drowned it. And are you a stranger? I drowned it. It was funny. Okay,
She
well,
was telling her experience, but that was, an occasion where you had your intuition warning you about an event that was going to happen. And that's exactly what happened. That gut feeling of you can't explain what it is that's going to happen, but it's not going to be pretty. That's your intuition that's talking to you.
that's right.
Everybody has intuition and these abilities to tap into the future. A lot of people call it psychic, but it's really more of like your intuition telling
Your
you
higher
about,
self, right?
yeah.
And it's
And
different than unreasonable fear to me. Intuition, like it just comes out of nowhere, and it initially is not a fear thing. It's just a knowing thing. And then, of
yeah,
course, your mind can go all sorts of places, and fear creeps in. But okay, well, sensing
absolutely.
energy. And again, if I didn't say it, I don't think I did, Erik. I love you.
He says, I love you, Mom, and you look beautiful.
Thank you, Raylene. You look
Um,
beautiful too. You've got a glow about you now.
Thank you. I feel it. I feel like source is within me. Like it's just
Yeah.
incredible. I feel a part of like the whole. Like I'm not separated. I know it sounds funny, but I don't feel separated from the other side.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Well, that's where we should all be. We should be living as one,
Yes,
not just knowing. Well, we are one. Yeah. Rah, rah, rah. Just living and
right.
feeling that. Okay.
Okay.
Go for it,
All
girl.
right.
Sensing energy.
All right. So today what we are going to do is we are going to learn how to feel spirit energy. We're going to learn how to sense. Now, when I say feel, it's not going to be with your hand. We're going to be sensing with your energetic field, with the outer body. When you get this energy that comes into your energy field, I want you to tell me where you're feeling it, to the left, to the right, or to the front. So I'm going to walk you through a connection first, Elisa. Can I have
Okay.
you close your eyes?
Yeah.
All right. Repeat after me. angels and guides,
angels and guides,
and all of positive light.
and all of positive light.
I am now connecting to you,
I am now connecting to you,
and so it is.
and so it is.
Now take a deep breath in and blow it out. Okay, go ahead and keep your eyes closed. Now what I want you to do is I want you to say, Erik,
Erik,
I invite you into my energy field.
I invite you into my energy field.
Please allow me to feel you.
Please allow me to feel you.
All right, now give him about a minute, Elisa, and I want you to sense with your outer body, not the physical. Are you feeling to the right, to the left, to the front, or to the back? You may get what I call is like an airy sensation or just a knowing. You may feel like fuzzy air, denser air, something different on a certain part of your body or side of your
You know, I'm
body.
so terrible at this. It might not work, but I got an itch. Hang on. Hair in my mouth, itchy eye. Gosh. Okay. Okay. Help me feel you. Make it
Thank
stronger.
God for dogs.
Yeah. Well, my attention keeps being drawn to my left.
Okay, now as you're right there to that left with your attention, now what I want you to do is I want you to say, Erik, come closer.
Erik, come closer. Maybe some buzzing near my left hand.
Okay, so you see how the energy, it got different for you towards that left side?
Yeah, yeah. Well, was
Okay,
he on my left side? I mean, really?
yes,
Oh,
he's on
wow.
the left
Okay.
side of you. That's
Okay.
exactly where he is to the left of you.
Oh, awesome.
So now, as Erik is right there on your left side, he's going to move. So he's going to show you how he can move his energy to any part of your body. Tell me where you're feeling him next. No, don't do a dance. He says, should I dance around her? No.
Oh, that's going to really confuse me.
He's going to be serious.
You might have to really push to make it stronger, though, Erik.
He
Kind
is.
of
He's
dense.
sensing his energy.
My right hand feels cool.
So he's right as you were saying that. He says, I'm moving over to the right of her.
Okay.
And he's trying to hold your hand is what he's trying to do.
Oh.
You're going to notice almost like a pressure over your top of your hand.
Oh.
That's Erik that's putting that there.
Oh, okay.
Now you see how you've got him in your energetic field. Now what Erik is going to do, so tell Erik to move out of your energetic field. And I want you to tell me when you feel that separation.
Okay, hang on. I want to really get a sense of how it feels with him. I've been told that I have a hard time sensing his energy anyway, maybe all energy, because it triggers, his presence sort of triggers some unhappy
Trauma.
moments.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Okay, Erik, you can separate yourself from my energetic field.
He says he loves you.
I love you too. Gone? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel the distance now?
Yeah.
Okay. So now the next step to this is you can ask yes and no questions to Erik.
Okay.
You can do this technique with any spirit guide, a loved one that's on the other side, or you can use Erik. Erik dances his energy, so it's, Erik is used to doing this type of stuff.
He's really strong energy too, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Okay, so Elisa, I want you to ask Erik either a yes or no question. And so if the answer is no, he's going to stay back. So you're going to intent. If the answer is no, stay back. But if the answer is yes, come back into my energy field.
Okay. First of all, let me ask, Erik, is your energy so much stronger than a lot of spirits, not all spirits, of course, because of all the love you get from everybody?
He
Or
said
something else?
no. He said yes, it is because of all the love And he says, because it's that I help so many people, humans, I practice on lowering my vibration, the density of
Oh,
me,
yeah.
because of all the love that I choose to continue to have in my life. Aw, we do love you,
Oh, that's
Erik.
so sweet.
It is.
Okay, I'm going to ask, can I ask a question in my head?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Now I want you to give him a minute to let him fully come in. So when you ask the question, you want to give the spirit some time to come in if the answer is yes, or spirit needs time to, think about the question to see what the answer may be. I'd say give a total of 2 minutes. If you don't feel anything, then your answer is no.
Okay. If you do come into my energy, Erik, can you do the thing with the right hand being cold? That helps.
Yes, he said
Because
he
I could
can.
sense that more. Okay. Hmm. Make it strong as you can if you are in here. I think I feel it.
So he's saying yes to the answer to your
Oh,
question.
good, good.
But for you, energetic wise, you notice how you said, I think you
Yeah.
were feeling a change in the energy. So if you have to question it, your body is feeling something different. That right there is telling you that they're in your energetic field.
Okay.
So it's a yes. If you're thinking, I think I do feel it, that's a yes. Now, if people go in and do this technique and you're not receiving anything, no sensation, you want to try and raise your vibration. You can raise your vibration by listening to music. Something that's got like fast beat, happy music raises vibration. The sun raises your vibration. Sun gaze for about 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it when the sun is bright right there because you can hurt your eyes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
sun gazing raises your vibration.
Oh.
Rounding, just putting your feet in dirt, that raises your vibration.
Mm-hmm.
But meditation also, whether this is actively meditation
Mm-hmm.
or trying to sit there and breathe. And when I say active meditation, you can color a picture, coloring books, you can draw, you can
That
paint.
is fun. That is, I actually did that one time to just with my granddaughter. And I thought, more adults ought to just color. It's
It's
really
a
fun.
it's a
It's a
true.
great active.
I
Doing dishes, folding clothes for me, gardening, picking weeds, and then feeling guilty about them. Yeah, it's
killed the weeds.
I
No,
know. I said, I'm sorry,
I'm just
you don't
kidding.
belong here.
You
But anyway,
know
I
what,
thought
Lisa?
about maybe I should make a whole garden of these weeds, and let them live, but not choking out my other plants.
Do you know what I've learned is if I talk to the weeds and I tell them to pull their energy back, that it really helps the process of pulling it because you connect to the soul that's there and you're like, I'm
Yeah,
taking something away that I shouldn't.
yeah,
So if you just tell them to pull their energy back, it doesn't harm them. It's
good.
like warning them and letting them leave before anything
Okay.
happens. But that's a good technique to use. You're very sensitive when you can feel that. You're
Mm.
very sensitive and you're connected to the earth and
Oh,
all of the
yeah.
things that are living, with the earth that a lot of people assume
Oh,
it
except
doesn't
grab
have any
worms.
life.
Grab
Yeah.
worms. No. My husband always says, wear gardening gloves. And I get too lazy. But then when I sit there touching grub worm, it's like I scream. All the neighbors here, they come looking out. What the hell?
They think something's really wrong with you and it's just
Oh,
this
yeah.
little
Well, there
worm.
is. Okay, there is. All right. Can I ask another
He's
question?
laughing at you.
Let's
Yes.
ask it. Erik, am I wearing a white shirt?
He's a smart ass, Elisa.
What did he say?
He said that's a given.
I know. But I feel definitely cold. Okay. Am I wearing black shorts? That works because they're not
It
black.
does.
They're
Yes.
blue. Wow.
So you
Okay.
see how you've got the distance?
Yeah.
And you guys can ask questions that you know the answer to, yes and no answers to, so that way you know if it's working for you. Um, a lot of times, like when you use, whether it's an e-board, dowsing rods, pendulum, you can essentially control those pools
Hmm.
to an extent. This you can't control. You can't control whether
That's
spirit is
true.
coming in or not. You can't control what you're feeling. Um, if you guys are getting, you're asking a question and it's a really important question, but you're not getting a yes or a no, it's because the answer is not yes and the answer is not no. There's either something that has to be done to get a no or to get a yes, something on your part. So rephrase the question. Rephrase however you're asking your question.
That's cool. No,
Yeah.
the other day I was trying to pick between different companies to clean my air conditioning ducts. You're supposed to do that every 3 to 5 years, but we have never done it. It's 26 years, 27 years. So, and Lucas is getting really bad allergies. So I wrote it on scripts, different scraps of paper, balled it up, mixed it all up, and lined them up, and then put the pendulum on each one to get a yes or a no. That way I knew I wasn't influencing it.
Yeah, because it's no longer in your hand and you're not the channel for it.
Right.
So that's a really, really awesome technique to do. And you want it filtered. You can't filter that.
Yeah, you can't. All right, let me ask another question. I went on some business
It's
trip
awesome.
with my husband's, and I started breaking out all these weird blisters that have red. I still have them. I'm on steroids, but it was all over my
Oh,
face.
you
I gave myself a steroid
They're
shot, but
painful.
yes. No, I mean mostly itchy. I hate it, but little blisters. So I'm thinking that's probably something called an id reaction. So I'm on steroids. Is that the case, Erik? Or is well?
Yes.
Okay,
No,
let me see if I feel
yes.
it. Yeah.
He's showing you needing to get an antibiotic and ointment. It's
Okay.
not one that you can get over the counter. You need a prescription for it. There's a steroid in it. It's an
Okay.
antibiotic that you need, ointment,
All right.
not pills that you're taking.
Okay, doke. So what else can you tell us, Arlene? I mean, Arlene. She must be thinking about me. Raylene and Erik about sensing energy. Oh, one question. Can a person trying to sense spirit energy do what I did? Like, can you please make it feel like cold on my right hand? Or can you please make it feel like you're blowing on my neck? Can you specify?
You can be very specific with spirit to can you touch my left hand or can you touch my right hand? And we'll do this now with you, Elisa. With this technique, you get more of that tangible sensation. It does take longer than them just coming into your energetic field because what they're doing is they're giving you that tangible feeling of touching you. Now, depending on how long the spirit has been on the other side, because every spirit, they know a certain amount of things. They're not all professional at using
Yeah.
tools or
Yeah.
French tiles, things like that. There's different paces that spirits work at. So for
Just like humans. We have
exactly,
different gifts and weaknesses.
exactly. So for Erik, it's typically easier. But if you just lost somebody a couple months ago, your chances are that person's going to take a little bit longer than Erik because Erik's got some practice with it.
Well, can you ask somebody to help that spirit, like Erik, or an archangel, or your guardian angel, or one of your other guys, something like that, or another relative that's been there longer?
Absolutely. You can
Okay.
ask other spirits to intervene and to help. And that's something that Erik does do. Quite a bit of the blog members, they reach out to Erik for them to help their loved one and teach them how to lower their vibration so that they can communicate with their loved ones. And that's what Erik is doing. He's a teacher. Not only
Oh,
is he teaching other spirits, but he's teaching humanity so much, just
oh,
so much.
I'm so proud of you,
Yeah.
Erik. I
I'm
really
I'm
am.
really grateful for Erik
Oh,
and
me
just
too.
you and all of the work and time that you've put into channeling Erik and sharing him. I'm thankful for all of you.
Oh, well, it's been very healing for me. Now, do you need to specify a time, like, okay, at 11 o'clock tomorrow, or can you just do this randomly?
No, you can do this randomly. He says, Mom, we don't operate by time. He
Oh, well,
says,
that's true. There's no time there. Well, just in case you're going to the bathroom, I don't want to interrupt you, you know? It's like,
He says,
excuse
I
me, I'm
interrupt
occupied.
you.
Yeah.
He's so funny. He's laughing at you because he says he often visits you while you're in the bathroom.
Oh, well, I don't care. I mean, you know, my body, I've been pregnant so many times. My body's like public domain, and all my kids have seen me naked. I don't care.
He's laughing. He says, Mom, that's why I love you.
All right, so what are we going to do?
Okay, so we're going to move to the next step, this different technique. Go ahead and just place your hand flat on your table, on
Both
your
of them?
desk. One.
Just one.
Mhm. Now,
I'll
you
do the
can
left
either
one this time.
you can close your eyes or you can keep your eyes open. It's actually up to you. The reason I have people close their eyes is because you have a filter, and so
Yeah.
you're not filtering anything. Your eyes
Right.
are
No,
closed.
I'll close it because otherwise I get distracted.
Okay. Now, go ahead and say, Erik, please
Erik.
touch my right hand or whatever hand you
Okay.
have on the table.
Erik, please touch my left hand.
And we're going to give Erik about 2 minutes to fully come in. You may feel like a tingle sensation coming over your hand, or you may actually feel the bottom of your hand moving, shaping as if someone's holding your hand under it, or
Oh my
just,
God, I did feel that before you
yes,
even said that.
yes,
Something happening under my hand.
yes.
Wow.
Now, you're going to feel, because that's him coming under and he's holding your physical hand, you're going to get the shape forming of Erik holding your hand. You're going to feel his whole touch. It's not going to be like you and I. It's going to be more of tangible but fuzzy at the same time.
Yeah. That's weird that I felt it before you even said it. That is so cool.
I love it.
And it
I
didn't
love
take
it.
2 minutes.
No,
I'll
see,
give him a
and
little squeeze. Give you a little squeeze, Erik.
watch, he can get it much harder. Let's give him some time to really get in there.
Okay.
For other people, it may take a little bit longer if they're not used to this, but you, Elisa, are incredibly sensitive. And you know, this is spirituality is something you've been working with for quite some time now. So this is awesome. I love the progress that you've got today.
Considering what you're working with.
You're amazing. No, it's not. Okay, Erik. He's telling me to be quiet.
Hard as you can, baby. Oh, something made my little finger move. Was that you,
It,
Erik?
it's Erik, yes.
It wiggled.
He says, I'm squeezing. You see how you notice your hands there moving? So go ahead and open your eyes, Elisa. It's not going to kill the connection. Look at your hand. Now watch as it's going to form a little bit more, or watch as you see
Oh,
one
it
finger
wiggled.
move.
Yeah,
There
my
you go.
little finger wiggled.
And you see how he can move you.
God, that's so weird. I feel like a puppet.
He goes, that's funny, because he goes, Mom, I can use your body like a puppet.
Yeah, a posable Barbie, just not as thin.
Barbie sucks.
Yeah.
This is
Or
a form
Fox
of
with
a
a sour grape.
semi-trance channel.
Oh yeah.
It's a form of a semi-trance channel because spirit is actually moving your physical body. There's different types of trance channeling, and this is like the very beginning to allowing spirit to come into your field and share your physical space. You're sharing your body is what you're doing.
I believe in sharing.
Sharing is caring, he shouts out.
Do you trance channel, Erik, ever?
Yes, I have. The problem when it comes to trance channeling is, do you know, okay, so how can I best explain it? It's almost like when I come back, I feel like I'm gonna drool everywhere, or I have like
Oh
no
yeah.
control over my
Oh, there
body
you go.
function,
Wow. Yeah.
such
That's
as
scary.
drool or pee.
Oh,
I've never
apparently that's what
peed.
Kim Babcock was afraid of. She couldn't do it because she's afraid that. But can't spirit keep you from doing that?
Yes, and that's what
Okay.
I've actually been working on with Erik is doing this. So It takes me about 20 minutes to get Erik into me.
Hmm.
Now, I'm still there, but I feel like I'm stuck in my mind. I'm not moving my body. It's him that has full function. I
Hmm.
feel like a dude. He spreads my legs out, and
Oh yeah,
I
right, right.
can't go that far.
Yeah.
But you can feel the energy when it's them, and I've got a little bit of me that's stuck in my mind, so I haven't
Uh-huh.
fully left. But I'm at a point where Erik can come in and use me like a puppet.
Cool. Well, can he kick you out? Help kick you out more?
Yeah, he can. He said that I've got to focus on trusting him and letting go. So the technique that he's having me do is he's having me envision one of my family members on the other side
Oh
and having him
yeah.
pull me. But when I get close to that pull, it's almost like I see white light. And you know how people say, like, when you're close to death, you see white light?
Yes.
So it gets to a scary sensation and I come running back.
Oh yeah.
So I've got to learn to trust that I'm going to come right back in and I'm
Maybe you
going to
could
be
say some mantra, you know, it's all okay. It's all okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to be something like that would help. Or what should she do, Erik? I still feel him, and he's
he's still
wiggling
there.
my fingers.
He's loving it. He says, Mom, thank you so much for letting me come in and do this with you. He says that he's not going to let go because he's missed your touch and
Oh.
holding you. He
Oh, by
misses
the way,
physical touch.
Arlene. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He misses physical touch with you
Yeah.
and the family.
Yeah.
He's going back to answering the question about what techniques I can do. And he says the best technique that Raylene can do is to trust herself and to trust the person that she's trance channeling with. And this is going to help her to move out of her own way. He says that I was also connected to emotions that I was holding on to and that I am holding on to. And that's why I'm connected to the physical body so much, is
Mhm.
it's an emotional connection that I got to learn to separate from.
Yeah.
And by separating, I can do so in meditation, mantra, releasing is what he says, release.
Okay. Release. That's a good
Yes.
mantra. Yeah. Have you tried doing it since your hospitalization?
Yeah.
Transhuman?
It was much quicker.
Mm.
I had much quicker results than what I had before. And
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
cool.
get that peeing sensation as I
Yeah.
did before, but it was still there, just not as intense. And I think what I've learned is to trust, to start to trust. And you see, I believe part of my life mission, I know part of my life mission is to do things regarding spirituality, whether this is trance channeling and
Hmm.
giving messages through the physical trance and kind of having me move out of the way,
Mm.
not filtering anything. This
Yeah.
was kind of a push to really get me to the point that I want to be at with my life mission and my life purpose when it comes to helping the world and helping humanity.
Yeah. And you could probably go on stage in front of just hundreds of people, trans channeling somebody, anybody, and delivering, messages that the populace
Yes,
needs to hear.
it is.
That's
You know what I've
cool.
really been interested in is extraterrestrials. I've
Oh
been
yeah.
talking to Paul Whites and engaging with them, and that's something that's changed since the accident. Is my connection to extraterrestrials is almost like telepathy,
Oh.
talking to them, and they're not dead. These ones are alive. They're just having a different experience.
Yeah.
So I feel like my mission is going to be going towards more of ETs and the Earth
Hmm.
itself. That's what I've
Yes.
awakened to really do
Yeah.
now. Is that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Hey,
Mind you, I've never been interested in extraterrestrials. This is something that is really new for me.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Why the interest in extraterrestrials now, Erik?
He says because the planet is needing the support and the help from
Yeah.
extraterrestrials. He's explaining that humans need to be okay with receiving help from them. Um, he says it's getting humans okay with extraterrestrials, is what it
Okay.
is.
Okay.
We're helping
Um,
them and they're helping us. Humanity, he says, our race for one, and the earth is what their main concern is, protecting the earth and making sure that it's okay. He's going into like pollution for one. The vibration of people pollutes the earth, the pollution that we cause from cars pollutes the earth.
Yeah.
He says there's so many things that we can bring awareness to people to try and change little steps to save our earth.
Yeah.
And that is what most of the extraterrestrials, their intent is for the earth specifically, not so much humanity, but the earth.
Oh, that's awesome. So Arlene and my little grandson Easton, who's, oh my God, he is all over the place, exhausting in a happy way, but touching everything, climbing up on stuff, opening cabinets, whatever. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to say. Arlene came downstairs and said, "Oh, Eric's sitting upstairs in the chair," real casually. Said, "Well, did he didn't seem like he saw me." I said, "Well, why don't you just say, 'Hey, Erik, how you doing?'" And she said, "Well, it's just because he's fuzzy and black, and then he's gone in a second." Did she? What do you think, Erik? Tell me about that.
This was him, and he was seeing her. It was more of like through, you know what preferred vision is?
Yeah, peripheral. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go, peripheral. Thank you. That's what she was seeing. That's how she was seeing him, and he was wanting to say hello. It was very instantly, and so even if she had wanted to instigate a conversation, he would have almost vanished right then. It was his way of just wanting to say hello. She's got really gifts, really
She does.
gifts.
She sees aura. She'll tell you what aura you have and all sorts of stuff. And she talks to her friends at lunch about, "Oh yeah, Erik says this and Erik says that." She, really, what percent of her seeming to channel?
80% of her is channeling. 80% of her is channeling. And the thing with her when she's at school is she can read people, Elisa. So for instance, say one of her friends is not having a good situation at home, she can feel that stress from that friend without that friend expressing it to her.
Yeah.
She can tell when somebody's lying to her without you expressing a lie to you.
Uh-oh.
He's got that instant knowing of information, and she's unaware of it, but she's channeling about 80% of her daily life.
Well, so much for keeping the whole Santa Claus thing alive.
Right?
Yeah.
We can still make friends. No.
Yeah. That's so cool. So Erik, maybe you can keep working with her and her gifts and try to prolong her ability to see you so she can talk to you. Uncle Erik.
In the process of doing this, and he says, "I want you to know that she's going to be safe while she's in the process of opening up more and more." He's telling her to start to write and color. It's more of like picture books, but she's very artistic. She can create something like a book, but something from a child. To have her begin to do this, and that's going to open up her abilities a little bit more. It's a tool.
Draw what? What kind of things would she draw?
Whatever comes to her. Tell her
to like channeling, almost like automatic writing, but most basically automatic drawing, I guess. Okay, cool. I'll tell her that.
But it's channeled information, and she could be very specific. You can open up. You can say, "Hey, Erik, give me something to write about or give me something to draw about." And then you pay attention to those thoughts or those images that come to your mind, and you just put them out on paper.
That's cool. Anything else you want to talk about with sensing energy, Erik?
He says, "Go and sense me because I can be anywhere at any time." And he says, "I can help anybody at any time." He says, "You never inconvenience me, and I enjoy working with everyone." He says, "Go and sense my energy."
Well, that's so awesome. All right, Raylene, why don't you share some of the stuff that you have to offer and your website and all that?
Okay, so my website is angelmedium7.com. That's the number 7. And I offer half-hour sessions, hour sessions. I also do astrology sessions. My astrology sessions, I combine your astrological chart, and I run transits of what you're currently going through.
Oh my God, it's great. She's done it for me, people, and it's amazing. God.
I love it. Astrology is so key.
Yeah.
And then I also combine my spiritual abilities, the channeling, to give you messages along with that astrology interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
I have student courses that I offer. It's 5 sessions at a flat rate of $350,
Mm-hmm.
and we go over how to feel crystal energy, how to feel spirit energy, how to use oracle cards, how to do the semi-trance channel that we just did with Elisa.
Mm-hmm.
I guide people through this stuff. You know, Erik tells me to have the person, whether it's move your body a little bit differently or to relax a certain part of your body. So if you're having trouble doing it on your own, come and have the course, because Erik can guide you specifically on what you need to do with your body. And so that's what the course is about. We meet 1 time a week. You do have to go onto my website and message me directly through the website. It says contact me, and get the information for the course, and we'll go from there, because it's not something that you can just sign up for, because I only have limited space for people.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Uh,
You know, I think this just got channeled to me. It would be so cool if you had a custom course for kids like Arlene, who the parents know the parents know they've got these abilities, and they want them to be nurtured and strengthened, etc. That'd be awesome. But
So
but
that's what I'm
but for
actually
kids.
focusing on. I'm
Oh,
focusing on creating something that a child would understand in terms of setting healthy boundaries with other people's energy. How to
mm-hmm.
know if it's your mood or if it's someone else's mood.
Yes,
Kids
yeah.
don't know that. They carry so much, not knowing that it's not theirs. So this is something I am doing, and it is going to be online that I'm going to be offering the course. I'm also going on tour, and this is part of my mission that's really got me into putting my stuff into place. My very first place that I'm going to be going to is going to be New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I will be in California, and it's going to be teaching all of spiritual things, how to open up your abilities, how to channel. And so I'm going to be going to quite a bit of different states and meeting new people. So go under live events, and you can see where I'm going to be at and purchase your tickets.
Yeah, you are hitting the ground running.
Yes.
Maybe you could write me up something to post with all this stuff you're going on, that's going on,
Wow.
including the future possible children's course, etc. You know, for kids to
Absolutely.
learn how to the whole things with boundaries and taking responsibility for their emotions versus acknowledging that something might be another person. I mean, that can save them a lot of heartache in the process of growing
Yes,
up. It's
very
very
much.
important. And also how to communicate with people that they've lost, like maybe they lost grandma and they were really connected, or a pet, etc.
Mom or
That would give them
dad,
more comfort.
siblings, you know.
Yeah, that would give them such comfort,
Absolutely.
especially knowing that they live on, that they're not really lost, and they can continue to have a relationship with the people they love and have lost. So that'd be cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's a healthy relationship between the person that's still alive, the child, and the person that's on the other side. And even if there's not someone that they have lost, but the child is dealing with nightmares or dealing with
Yeah.
depression, there's an underlying reason for that. And chances are there's a spiritual connection to it. And teaching that child how to identify, is this fine or not, is what's key for that child to have a happy life and to be okay in life. You know, my son is 6 years old, and he's struggling with sensitivity. He has, well, his original diagnosis was sensory processing disorder, but
Hmm.
now they're changing it to Asperger's.
Maybe he's just sensitive to energy. Like that's what they say about Arlene and her school problems. And now she's being homeschooled on with the public school online. And she is top of the class now because
Amazing.
she was just taking in all this energy, and she didn't know how to process it. Um, was it you that told me to get her special beads and put
Yes,
lavender oil or something,
yes,
a bracelet that
yes.
is like a grounding bracelet, and you can have
And
diffusers with lavender oil. Lavender?
it, it separates it separates energy is what it does. Frankincense is what you would want to put in for grounding and
Ah,
keep your energy at a difference. It's labradorite crystal that you would want to use
that's right. That's right.
for protecting your energy for intuitive people
Mm,
or sensitive people. It's labradorite that you would want to wear.
That's
or
cool.
lapis lazuli is also good.
Okay.
But like you're explaining with your granddaughter, my son is having trouble in school.
Yeah.
He's notes sent home about not being able to focus or being disruptive, and
Maybe
he
he should look into the public online school. I
that
don't know if
that's
they offer that. I mean,
that's
but you need friends to play with, so just people in the neighborhood that, but I mean,
high
it's
school. He totally
socialization.
hates
But
it.
yeah.
So
Um,
I will.
yeah, that's pretty cool. So also there are grounding sheets, from what I understand, that you actually plug in and the kids can sleep on it and
Yeah,
be nice and grounded for school the next morning. I don't know if they work or not. Eric, what do you think?
it does work. It does
Okay.
work. He says that these are really good tools to get. And there's a couple of reasons why it's grounding, because of the electricity for one, but he says also because of you being consistent with doing this mat. It's
Oh,
bringing routine, and routine is consistency.
all right. One last question. God, what was it? Oh,
He goes, brain fart.
oh, from an old fart. Uh, no, it was really kind of important though. What was it? Oh yeah, I know. Oh, thank God. How can parents tell if it's like a sensory motor disintegration or something on the autistic spectrum or some other processing disorder, whatever? Because I thought she just had a cognitive processing disorder versus what your son and Arlene have, like not being able to process, so open to energy, but not able to process and sort it all.
How can a parent identify? So he says, look at your child and notice your child's behavior while they're at home, and notice your child's behavior while they're in a group. If you're noticing a drastic change, such as them mimicking the group's behavior or them being overwhelmed, your child does not have Asperger's or sensory issues. What they have is empathic,
Yeah.
picking up too much of somebody else's energy. He says, so you've really got to take a look at the situation that your child is in and see how their attitude is changing.
Yeah. Plus, I guess if you try the grounding sheets and the labradorite with the frankincense oil on the beads, and the diffuser with frankincense or whatever, or just teach them grounding techniques, then maybe if they get a lot better, then they're just empathic. And
Yes,
also that you can put it on their hand in the mornings, some of these oils, and whenever they feel like they need help focusing, they can just sniff it.
balance. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. They even have like necklaces that they've made with little balls to put essential oil onto. They have children size, they have adult size. Um, you can even like with the little rock, the crystal, have it in their pocket. You can use like a fidget if your child's having like issues at
Oh yeah.
school. Tell the teacher it's a fidget, and that's what's calming them down. That's what I've done with my son, and it's really
Okay.
helped him quite a bit. But pay attention to how their mood is shifting. If it's somebody that's coming into the room, another child or another person, and they're mimicking that person's energy. Like for instance, like with mom and dad, if you're stressed, your child is not behaving, they're mimicking your stress.
Oh
They may
yeah.
not be mimicking it to the exact extent, but
Hmm.
they're mimicking behavior of stress. And so it's them picking up your behavior. Teach your child how to put healthy boundaries. One thing that you can do is you can say what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. Tell your kid, just say that in your mind, what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours.
Right.
If the child notices, mom, dad, I was happy, and then all of a sudden my mood changed.
Yeah.
Have them say what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours.
Yeah.
And that's putting an invisible boundary, it's putting boundaries down between your child and whatever else is there.
Okay, that is so cool. All right,
Having
so
them be
I'm going to
consciously
get
aware.
Arlene to do this course if the mom gives permission. One last question, then we need to close because it's the end. So what do you do? Do you discuss this whole thing with the teacher? Or is that going to freak them out? Like, oh, my kid's open to energy and
I did. I discussed it with my son's teacher. Surprisingly, he says, first off, Erik says, you want to use your wording carefully so it's not so woo-woo. the teacher was very understanding in my case, but not every case will the teacher be
I know.
understanding of
Yeah.
your child is sensing energy. She was very accepting. Thankfully, his teacher is spiritual and is into mediumship crystals,
Oh, wow.
finding alternative solutions. And so
Wow. Well,
I
that's
got really lucky
rare.
with this teacher, right?
Oh,
But he says that not every teacher will be open to it, but
yeah.
to have an honest discussion about your child is something that you need to make sure you are on the right path with your teacher, with your child's
Okay.
teacher, with your child's educator. Even if the kids aren't in school, because there's kids that are in daycare or younger that are having sensitive
Oh,
issues,
yeah. Yeah.
teaching that person that's, with your child to understand your child and understand their sensitivity.
Yeah. Start
Is
as
going to
early
be
as possible. All right. So
absolutely.
say you have somebody from the Bible Belt, a Bible thumping teacher or whatever. What do you, that's not open to that? How can we word this uh, to advocate for our children and grandchildren?
He says you be very blunt. You say that your child is very sensitive to the energy in the room. A teacher cannot argue against energy being in
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Every person carries energy. And so you express to the teacher that he's sensitive to energy and to big crowds, and that your child potentially changes when an atmosphere changes, and just be aware, let the teacher be aware of these changes that your child may go through.
Okay.
And even though the teacher may not understand or accept it, they're still aware of it. So you're putting that awareness out there to the teacher
Yeah, that
about
must
your
be
child.
true with people with agoraphobia that have problems in crowds. They must have the same thing. It must
Yeah,
be impasse. All right. Well, thank you
very
so much,
engaging
Raylene. I
energy.
missed you. I'm so glad to have you back. I wish I could hug you.
I
I wish you
know,
were
I
coming to
miss
the
you.
event. Oh my God. Write up something for me about all the cool stuff you got going on. And Erik, thank you so much. You can come hold my hand anytime you want and sit in my lap.
He says I will. He says he's going to
Okay,
give you a
baby.
big hug. He gives me an image of sitting on your lap and straddling you.
Oh,
Big old dude.
good. That's
I love
awesome.
you so much,
Uh,
Elisa. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
I love you
your time.
too, baby.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.